I just want to put this information together that I have discovered about Albert Einstein and how he has really told us the day of ascension from his work. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I can't believe that it's just all out there in front of us to notice. It's hidden in plain sight. So this whole thing about Zavi Java, right? You guys know that I've been going on about this star, Zavi Java, and then I found this magnet logo, which the company didn't really exist, and now it's not on Amazon anymore, but I had snapped this screenshot. Now, Einstein had discovered the speed of light from using the Zavi Java star. I couldn't believe it, right? When I found that out, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So the other thing that's really fascinating is that Albert Einstein was born on Pi Day, Infinity Day. So I'm going to put all of this stuff together because it's all pieces of the puzzle that we've been discovering. And I've been sharing with you, and you guys have been sending me stuff, which is awesome. So I'm going to put some stuff together and show you how important that eclipse was when he measured the speed of light when it was on Zavi Java. The eclipse happened on September 21st, 1922. Now this is an interesting date because this is the fall equinox. So in tropical, that would be considered Libra. And we know Libra means justice. It means Omega on the Kabbalah tree. But when you're in sidereal, it's exactly on Zavi Java. So it's interesting, Omega, which is all part of Alpha and Omega through the Bible, is relating to Zavi. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about with the Kabbalah and the Justice card, you need to go back to the Kabbalah video I did, the very first one that I did explaining the Alpha and Omega. So on the fall equinox, September 21st, Zavi Java is where the sun is. And this was the eclipse. We also had a Jupiter-Mercury conjunction on Spica, which would be the Washington Monument. That's what Washington, D.C. is aligned to. And here's a picture they took of the eclipse. This is just showing you that Albert Einstein was born on March 14th, which is Pi Day, Infinity Day. And he also discovered the speed of light when the eclipse was on Zavi Java, the Ascension star. Okay, so this is why I do believe that Trump is wearing the infinity hand with his Trump team. I've done videos on that, and that he is constantly referencing infinity because of Pi Day, right? And Albert Einstein's speed of light. Now here we have the Simone Biles. She's 24 years old. And when she's also born on Pi Day. So it's funny that she ends up popping up in the news with her birthday on Pi Day. So Einstein's birthday, we had Enki, who's part of the ancient texts, is on the Spica star. And we have Uranus on Regulus, which is the king star, which is what the Capitol building is aligned to. And Uranus is heaven, okay? He's a big player in all of this, okay? And I've done a whole decode how that planet ties to the atomic bomb, it ties to 9/11, ties to the founding of the United States, and it's tying to the blood moons. And I will do a video on that. So I just want you to understand the importance of Uranus. It rules Aquarius. Aquarius is the phoenix. So on Pi Day, March 14th, the sun is on the right fish of Pisces. And Saturn and Mercury were in conjunction on the tail of the whale. I like this old picture of him just hanging out in the woods with his friends. I'm sure they're talking philosophy. And the interesting thing about Einstein was that he was a really good musician, a violinist. And he was also a big supporter of the Zionist movement in Israel. And they wanted him to actually lead the Jewish party. Okay, so you can go into it, but he had a lot of other interests rather than just science. This I found interesting because in the 17th letter codes, there was a D5. So the release of Einstein's papers was on December 5th, 2014. So I'm just wondering if that's a link, to this, to him, because of his birthday and because of this blood moon that's going to happen on Zavi Javastar on Pi Day in the year 2025. So I'm just wondering if this was all, part of the code. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. That's Joel 2:31. And I do think this is why I drew this picture when I was about 16. It's as above, so below, and there's blood coming from the moon with the sword going through it. Now the sword is part of the Kabbalah tree. You can pull the sword out of the stone when you understand the twofold key. So the sword is really important, and I can't believe that I drew this thing. And I think it all has to do with this Zavi Java star and this blood moon. I honestly do. But I have gone and mapped out all the blood moons, like in the future, like up to the year 2030. And there's relevance to those blood moons too. And I think that might be the day of the Lord when the others get saved. So I want to do a video on that. It all ties into Uranus. So there is relevance to those blood moons as well. But if nothing happens, I'm going to tell you guys this. If nothing happens on Infinity Pi Day in 2025, I'll eat pie. In front of you. I'll take it right in the face. I'll eat pie. So there he is, Mr. Infinity, Thanos himself, with his confusing video that nobody could figure out why he's wearing the Infinity hand. And I'm sure it's all because of this Infinity Day, Pi Day. I'm absolutely convinced of it. So Trump's proclamations that he did was on March 13th. He did one declaring national emergency concerning the novel coronavirus disease in 2020. So that's the day before Pi Day, but it's an important day, and I'm going to show you why. It has to do with the full moon placements on Zavi Java. And then also he declared Prayer Day, National Day of Prayer, on March 14th. Here's a headline of it declaring, he's saying March 15th is National Prayer Day, but they did the news article on March 14th, but when you go into the record, it's March 14th, okay, is National Prayer Day. So that's Pi Day, okay? So we're praying, man. We're praying for infinity. We're praying. So yeah, it's pretty convincing that this is a really important day. So someone sent me this new Time magazine cover. I was absolutely blown away. I posted it on my new Facebook account for crystal-tyme. Follow me there, please. I am posting stuff daily. There he is, standing with the Hangman flip-flopped leg position for Odin. Can you guys believe this? I'm blown away by this. Like, there it is, the obelisk, and it's crumbling, and he's going to sacrifice himself to this friggin' obelisk for us. That's why he always holds his hand in the upside down triangle, because it's this card, okay? It's meme, it's the water symbol. And it's saying, I know it's really small print here, but it's saying when the Hangman is upright, he is doing a sacrifice. Okay, so he's standing upright with this leg position, so he is going to sacrifice himself to the tree. And he knows it, okay? It's not a conspiracy. It's not the globalists coming to get him. It's all part of the script. Remember, the mathematical institution uses the song American Pie, and of course American Pie is about apple pie, right? So Jim Carrey does this portrait of Trump, a slice of apple pie, $5, and it's supposed to be like a decode that he's a Russian agent, but he's dressed himself up as the Joker. Now Trump played the movie The Joker in the White House. This is why I'm saying he knows he's the Joker. That's the fool card that he wants us to be. He wants us to be the fool and stand on the Kabbalah tree facing the Creator in this glowing light. That's what the fool card is, in a bliss state. So here's the cycle of the moon. Now, September 21st was when they measured the speed of light on the moon eclipse with the Ascension star Zavi Java. And every 19 years later, the moon repeats its location. So that was on September 21st, but in the same year, previous in March 13th at 11:11, the moon was a full moon on Zavi Java. So the speed of light that happened in the fall in September of 1922 was at 1:11. So we got the 11:11 again, right? This isn't the official times, but this is when it's happening. I can pull the time to this location, and I'll show you. So then on 1941, on March 13th, we had another full moon on Zavi Java at 11:11. 1960 as well, 11:11. 1979 at 11:11. 1998, it was at 9:11. And 2017, March 13th, it was at 23. Okay, so just 0.23, which is like DNA, right? That's 23 in me. And then we have the blood moon in 2025 on March 14th, a day later. Okay, so the moon shifts because the sky shifts, right? And we don't have the 19 years. It's only 8 years. So we don't have the full 19 years, which would bring us back to the location. It's just, a day off now. So 8 years later, it brings to Infinity Day, and it's at the time of 322, which is the Skull and Bones, the Yale Secret Society. And why 8 years later? Because 8 years represents strength. And the 8 card has infinity on the top of the head. And there's always the hand in the lion. And this represents the lion's gate as well, right? Because that's when Elvis Presley and Aretha Franklin and Babe Ruth, they're all their links to the needle, right? Because Elvis took the first polio, Babe Ruth took the first chemo, and then Aretha Franklin had the incoming needle on her Hey Now album on the inside cover. This is all because the needle is the tree. It's the Cleopatra needle. And that on August 16th is when the sun is in the mouth of the lion, right? It's the middle path. So this is why they're picking 8 years. Well, it's just mathematically working out like that, but that's why they created the tarot, I guess, to this. And then this, what I realized, is Libertas. This is the Statue of Liberty. This is what the Statue of Liberty is really made from, is this goddess. So, and she is represented with the lion. So this is freedom. This is about freedom and liberty of your soul. It's not about the Constitution. It's really about ascension. So this was in March 13th, 1922, full moon Zavi Java. And then September, we had the eclipse for the speed of light. So then the next one is 1941, when the war was going on. There it is, Zavi Java, full moon. Next one's 1960. Zavi Java, full moon, March 13th, 11:11. And then 1979, there it is again. It's at 11:11 at night now. Then 1998, it ends up being 9/11, and that was the last one before 9/11 happened. And then 2017, it happens at 23andMe because it's about the DNA, right? They took down the Twin Towers to get the one strand, the middle path. And here you'll see the 8 years after, 2025 on March 13th, the moon is in Leo. It's not quite at Zavi Java, right? So it's like, it's not its full cycle. It hasn't, because it's not 19 years. This is 103 years and 1 day. But from the actual measuring of the speed of light was 102 years, 5 months, and 21 days. So we get like the 2-1-5-2-1. So it's like a mirroring, right? And Venus is 5, right? It's always 5. It's actually the Hierophant, the Pope, which is ruled by Taurus, which is again the Pleiades, is number 5. And this is important because Venus rules Taurus, right? So we have the love, Venus is all about Venus, and then 21 represents the universe. So it's like the two universes merging together. And how does it do that? It does that through the speed of light. So you matter unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared. Then you energy. Right, because we're going to become infinite, and the only way you can transform is to be the phoenix. It's basically you go through this transformation and you take on these energies from the sun. It's going to activate a DMT in your brain, and then you're going to be able to become energy. You become an energy being, right? So you go into this higher dimensional state. I just finished watching a video, I think Sheldon sent it to me on my Facebook, which was really fascinating. It's a 3-hour long video, but all about DMT and the mushroom and how it was, always going through ancient history. It was showing with Jesus, it was always with the mushroom. I'd done videos on Amanita muscaria before, but there was an interesting thing in the video where it explained that on the 49th day is when the soul comes into the fetus and there's a DMT burst. So I do believe that the corona mass ejection from the sun is going to create a DMT burst where you're no longer in this reality. You're no longer here. You ended up, going through Jesus, going through the sun into another realm. But this opens up your third eye, which is Taurus, right? This is number 5. This is Venus. That's your third eye. And that will be opened from this experience, and really truly opened, where you can, go into other worlds through your third eye. You can teleport through. So that's my understanding of what Ascension is. But it all ties into math. It all ties into the science. And it's fascinating that everything is linked to Infinity Pi Day with this blood moon. And it's mind-boggling. I can't wait to do the Uranus video for you guys, because it's going to make you see that this was all pre-planned, centuries ago. They pre-planned it so that you could find this information if you chose to look to the sky. And here's the whole article on his exhibition when they went to, I believe it was Australia, to get the picture of the eclipse so that they could measure the speed of light. And they had to take equipment in, and it was just after the war, and they had tried to do it on 2 other eclipses previous. I think he came up with the theory in, I think it was in 1905, but it took till 1922 to actually prove it by getting a proper picture. And this is their telescope that they were using, and their camera. So it's really fascinating. They went to great pains to be able to prove this theory. But interestingly, it changed the world. But CERN supposedly has just debunked the theory. But everything is always going back to Einstein, because I think it's because of his birthday and his link to Pi Day. They'll never stop that connection to Einstein. It's part of our consciousness to find out, what it's all about, and it's about Pi Day. It's about infinity. So that's why he's such an icon. And there's other scientists that were supposedly smarter than him, like Tesla and stuff. But they always use Einstein, and I'm sure it's because of the link to Pi Day. So in 2005, at the World Year of Physics, they used Einstein's equation up on this tower. Now, the tower is called Pi. Well, PEI is a Hebrew letter that rules the tower card in the tarot cards. Okay, the actual tower, TOWER. And then they have its 101, which is 11. So it's the esoteric knowledge is in everything. It's it's science, it's math, it's religion, it's philosophy. It's literally everywhere. You just have to understand how they're using the symbols. So, but I think this is all tying to Pi Day, because it's PEI is the tower, it's the obelisk, right? It's the tower, it's the tree of life, but it's Pi. So that's why Einstein's born on Pi Day, and I'm sure we're going to freaking move as fast as the speed of light on Pi Day, on Infinity Day, because God is infinity. Time magazine in 1946, with him linking to the atomic bomb, and this is because it ties into Uranus's cycles, and I will go into that. The Fool card is ruled by Uranus, right? So it's because Uranus, you face the crown. So anyhow, it's all tied together to the sky, and it's just mind-boggling. I can't believe it, that this blood moon is happening on Zavi Java. It's just I'm what's the chances of that happening? I guess they thought it was pretty special too. So they aligned everything to it. Everything's about the Fool. And this is when they said Jesus was crucified, was April Fool's Day. April 1st in the year 33. And if you go back and look, if you think about March 13th, that's really the number 33, right? That they're lining all these full moons to Zavi Jabba, right? So now we have the year 33, April Fools. We have a blood moon on Shambhala. That's Shambhala star. It's spelled Khambalya. And that's Shambhala. That's like heaven, right? So this is why the blood moons are so important. They're really linking to very epic events that have happened in this realm. And we all know Trump was born on a blood moon as well, right? So that's super important. And he's Odin, and he has to sacrifice himself to the tree. And we know he's been telling us this, but with this new Time magazine, it's just blowing it right out of the park. What's the chances that Trump's blood moon happened at 3:22 in the afternoon, even though he was born in the morning? It happened at 3:22, and that's the time of the blood moon in 2025 on Zavi Java. And did you notice it was in Ophiuchus, the doorway out of here? Because you hold your snake, your Kundalini energy, and you walk out of here. Because you know how to heal, because it's all about astrology and healing yourself. And that's what Ophiuchus represents. Asclepius, the healer. So this is a mathematical, holographic, crazy realm that we live in. So just remember, you're just a character in a play, just like Shakespeare said, the world's a stage.